everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Shay and I am a reseller, which means I get to go thrifting for a living. And that has lots of perks, which includes lots of great vintage finds. And that's what today's video is going to be about. So I have a pretty good size thrift haul for you of vintage and vintage inspired pieces. I am really excited to share it with you. I've been collecting it over the last month or so, and I am gonna go ahead and just get started. I have lots of really great goodies. So I'm gonna start with a couple things on this side of me. I have stuff on both sides, so sit tight, get a snack. It's gonna be a long one. Anyway, this is the first one. It is a vintage Target, which I've never seen this vintage Target tag before. And I picked it up mostly for the style and the color. It's so cute. It has this beautiful embroidered sort of upraised floral pattern on it and little pearls. It's super soft. It has sort of a more balloon inspired sleeve. It's a slight crop fit, so you could wear it tucked into your high-waisted denim if you wanted a more modern vibe. But I just loved this. I almost kept it for myself. It just ended up being a little bit too big on my frame, but really gorgeous piece. I can't wait to list this. It will do really well, I think. And if you're interested in any of these pieces, I will be linking my Poshmark store down below. I do sell through the Poshmark app, and if you are new to Poshmark, you can actually get $10 off when you sign up if you use my little code. I will leave it up on the screen for you guys and also down below in the description. This piece is also really gorgeous. This is a crocheted piece. It's just like a little kind of like over jacket. It's short sleeved. I love the color, again, this like dusty pink color. I know that it's been popular for a while, but I just really love it. Just a really sweet piece, and it doesn't have any tagging or anything. It's probably from the 70s or 80s, just judging on the construction of it, but obviously I couldn't leave it there. It's just too cute, so I picked that up. Next is actually an Anthropologie piece. This is Moth for Anthropologie, and Anthropologie does a lot of vintage inspired things. They have a lot of vintage inspired styles and shapes to their clothing, especially some of the older Anthropologie pieces. So I do like to keep an eye out for those. This is just a black cropped sweater. It does have the quarter length sleeves, and then it has a little bit, you can't really see it, but it has like a rib detail here, so it kind of peplums out a little bit, which is really flattering, really great over dresses. Next is a ModCloth top. This one is a size large. I love the color. Again, this is a beautiful sort of dusty purple lavender color. Really, really cute. It has all this little lace detail along the sides here and the front, buttons all the way down. And then that's what the back looks like there. This one is definitely more of a 1950s, 1960s inspired piece. It would look really, really great with a full circle skirt. This piece is really great as well. This is David Brooks. It's hand knitted. It is a size medium. I have found this David Brooks brand before in vintage shops, and they make some really, really cool knitted and crocheted pieces. This one happens to be crocheted, and it is just gorgeous. It has all this beautiful patchwork. It has little like trees and ferns and flowers. I'm just in love with it. It's very like cottagecore vibes, and I can't wait to list this as well. I think this one's gonna do really great. So the next piece is actually a scarf. This, I'm not sure if it's vintage. It might just be like 90s, but it's really cute either way. It has all kinds of little cats all over it. It says "Good Kitty Here, Kitty Kitty" on the little like border. It'd be really great to like wear in your hair. You could wear it around your neck or even on like a bag. And I just thought it was too cute to leave behind as well. Next is a really great piece. This is like 80s, does 30s, 40s. It's got shoulder pads in it. It's a very strong shouldered piece. I love the green, and it just has this like double front collar here. Really great structure to it. It's definitely like very vintage inspired. This is what the back looks like, and it's linen. So, I mean, you can't really go wrong with that, right? Next is another really cool vintage piece. This one reminds me of a 30s to 40s sort of a vibe. I'm not sure if it's that old. I think it might be a 80s does 40s, but it is acrylic and it's a size medium. It has this really great like wrap front, or like that surplus style. It has a shawl collar. It has a gather up here at the top, so it is going to be puff sleeved, and then it has sort of a balloon at the bottom. This one I did do a little bit of repair to. It had a little tiny pinhole, and I did mend it, but I don't think that that's going to detract from me selling it at all. It's really gorgeous on, and I just can't wait to list it. Next is another vintage reproduction piece. This one is zip it up for you. This one is collective or collective. I'm not sure how to say that the right way. I think it's collective, but it is a size small. It is definitely a 50s inspired dress. It has a full skirt. So this one would be really good if you had petticoats to wear under it for that really 1950s like pinup sort of a vibe. It has this really cute collar detail. It's a really great like muted blue. It is missing, I think, the belt. It might actually not have come with a belt, but it does have loops for one, so I assume it did. But I am really excited to get this listed. I've never found a collective piece before, and I know that they resell very well. And then next for this pile, I have this really pretty vintage sweater. It is Evan Picone or Picone. I know that this, sometimes they carry Anthropologie, obviously newer styles, but this one's a size medium, and it's just really gorgeous. It has this beautiful red color, and it has all these embroidered sort of ferns or leaves all the way down the front on both sides. Really great for fall. Obviously, like that cottagecore vibe again, and it does have sort of a rounded, almost Peter Pan, but not quite Peter Pan collar. Really, really cute. Again, I love styling cardigans over dresses. I think that that's a really like vintage inspired way to do it. So I was excited to find that. Next, I'm going to dive into my big bag over here. So I'm going to be switching directions. This is the top thing on my pile. It is a little vintage mini bag. It is suede, and it does have this really nice buckle on the top here. It has an intact lining. It looks like it might be a silk lining. I'm not entirely sure. It doesn't have any like tagging or anything, but it was really cute, and I kind of just couldn't leave it there. So I did grab it. Next is a pair of shoes. These are vintage reproduction or vintage inspired. They are Aero soles, and they are a US size 9. They are definitely like 30s, 40s inspired. They have sort of that cap toe detail. I think that's called wingtip. Remind me in the comments if I say that wrong. And I just really love this style. I think it's really cute. It's really easy too. It kind of goes with any sort of vintage look when you're going for a 30s or 40s vibe. Next is another pair of vintage shoes. These ones are Earthenese, I think it's called. Another vintage inspired, not vintage brand, but these ones are also that wingtip. They have sort of a perforated look to them. They are suede. They are more of an Oxford style, so they don't have a heel, but they are leather upper, and they are a 7.5. I just thought they were really cute. I actually grabbed them thinking they would fit me, but they ended up being a little too big. So I am going to sell them. Next is an authentic vintage piece. This is a vintage hat. I believe it's probably 50s, 60s. It's by Jordan Marsh, and it says made in Boston, which is really cool. Oh, excuse me. It's made in Italy, but the place that Jordan Marsh is in Boston. Sorry. It says genuine Tuscan lambskin, and it's really nice. Like, I think that somebody who dresses vintage would really love something like this. And it's nice and soft. It does have the, like, lamb on the inside, so you can actually see the, like, pelt or whatever. But I was really excited to find that. Normally when I find vintage hats and stuff, they sometimes have a smell to them, especially fur. So that was a good find, I thought. This is a vintage 90s piece. This is 100% cotton, and I just really loved it. It's very cottagecore. It has these cute little pockets on the front here, the like little patch pockets. It's just kind of a jumper sort of a dress. You could wear it in the winter or in the summertime, because you can wear it sleeveless or with like a sweater underneath or a turtleneck. Has little mother of pearl buttons, and then the bottom has this little embroidered floral print. It's just really cute. I love the color too. It's that sort of muted natural brown. This kind of stuff is doing really well right now on Poshmark, so I definitely wanted to grab it. The next thing that I'm going to show you, I actually have a selection of authentic 1950s, 1960s button-up tops. These are a really great find. I did have to leave them out in the sun so that they didn't smell, because if you are a vintage person and you deal with vintage clothing, you know that sometimes vintage clothing has like a smell to it. I can't even really explain it. It's almost like an old book smell. I'm not sure, but all of these are 100% cotton, and some of them do have tags in them. This one happens to be Judy Bond. It is a really cute Peter Pan collar button up. It has this really great sort of paisley print on it. The only thing is A couple of these have discoloration under the armpits. I'm not sure if it's picking that up or not, but I don't think that it's super noticeable when you put them on. I did try a couple of these on just to see what they look like on myself, but I think that somebody would really be excited to find these because there are quite a few of them. This one is shirt maker, 100% cotton as well. These are definitely a size like medium, small to medium. They look bigger. They are bigger than they look, so they're cut really well, but I just really thought they were cute. This one's another paisley print one. And then I have a sort of picnic wear one. This one is really cute as well. This is kind of a quarter length sleeve. This is like very 1950s. Would look great with a big full circle skirt. It has the buttons down the front, just the picnic, sort of a gingham print. And again, these are just so cute. Next up is my favorite one. This one, I'm gonna try to like zoom in or show you a clip of the pattern on this. It's green and white, and it has this little like house print on it. It has like all kinds of little houses and trees. It's just so cute. It has, again, a nice little collar. It is a short sleeve, but a longer short sleeve, so that sort of like ends here sleeve. Very like 1950s, and it's just so cute. I was so happy to find these, and then this one was the last one out of that group, and it again is sort of a picnic bandana print. And this one is a longer sleeve as well. Just really, really adorable. Can't wait to get these listed. Next, I have this really great hat. I think this is 50s. It is Amy, New York. It has that vintage tag inside, but it's just great colors. I think it's supposed to sit kind of like this towards the back of the head. It kind of has almost like a beehive effect to it. And then it has this little bow at the bottom. And it's in good condition. I am a sucker for hats, so I always pick them up. Next is a belt. This one is an 80s belt. It has a really big sort of leather covered buckle, gold, stretchy, really great to kind of cinch in your dresses. Next is another really cool find. This one is a vintage varsity sweater. It is by Indian, it says Indian brand sportswear. And it's a size small. I think this might be around the 50s mark as far as the style goes. It might be a little bit earlier than that. It is acrylic. It has a big giant bee on it, and it is hand sewn on. And it's this really great sort of really thick white yarn. That's what the back looks like. This did have a couple of spots on it. I was able to get most of them out in the wash. However, there are still a couple of little ones, but I think that that's going to be okay. I think that somebody will really like that piece, especially someone who has the last name with a B on it. I mean, why not, right? So this next piece is going to be a authentic vintage piece as well. This one, I believe this is gotta be early 70s, late 60s. It is a size 6. It does have a little tag inside, and it has the lot size. And this one comes with a belt. It is a really cute kind of bubblegum pink kind of house dress. It has buttons on the front, and that's what the back looks like there. This is a really great length too. It's sort of that midi length, which is really popular again right now. And then it has the it has the belt to match. So this one was a really good find. I was excited to find that piece. I think I found that one at the same time as I found those 1950s button-ups. So somebody was getting rid of like probably their grandmother's collection or something. There was a whole bunch of them in my Goodwill bins. So I was like very excited that day. But next is a vintage belt. This one is really cool. I believe this is probably 70s, early 80s. It might even be late 80s, early 90s. Size 34. It has all these really great buffalo nickels all over it, and it's pretty worn, so it has that sort of like bohemian prairie style to it. Really like that vibe, so I picked it up. Next is a little bit of a later vintage piece. This is 90s. This one is a Valerie piece, and I grabbed it because it's another piece that I thought would do really well in someone's vintage wardrobe. It's a marled sort of a knit. It has a big button in the front, and then it's just open the rest of the way down. Again, this kind of stuff is really cozy over a dress, sort of getting more longevity out of your fall and summer pieces by adding layers to it, especially in the wintertime in the New England area, which is where I live. So I like to pick that kind of stuff up. Next is a really, really pretty house coat. This is a Lauren by Ralph Lauren. It is a size small, 100% cotton. It's a full-length house coat, and I grabbed it based on the pattern. I was tempted to take it apart and use the fabric, but I think I'm going to list it and see how it does. It's just really cute. It has this sort of like 1950s print to it, and it has pockets in the front. Next, it looks like I have another pair of shoes. These are a pair of Western cowboy boots. The brand is Justin, and they are a size 6. They're 100% leather. Nothing like a good cowboy boot for a Western vibe or a prairie style, and I can never leave them behind. I pick them up all the time, and they do really well for me. So I grabbed those. Next is just Sage Harbor Petite. This brand I see a lot of vintage pieces of. It's probably 80s. It is just a sort of throw on and go top. It is a knit. It has short sleeves. These are really good for 1940s, 1950s pieces. They pair really well with skirts, and they're pretty easy. So I always pick those up when I see them. Next is a vintage sweater. This is Nomadic Trade, and it's from Berkeley, California. It's 100% wool, size large, and it's just one of those great like grandpa sweaters, oversized, cool vibes. Great to wear with like some distressed denim. It's like very 90s. I'm a 90s baby, so I have a little soft spot for 90s stuff. But next is another 80s piece. This is a vintage Bobby Brooks, size medium. And I grabbed it because it has all kinds of little embroidered hearts and flowers all over it. Just really sweet. I thought it would be good for somebody who is interested in that cottagecore sort of vibe. Really easy to style with denim. Next, I have another 80s piece. It looks like I'm getting to the 80s portion of the bag. This one is just a floral button-down top. Doesn't have any tags in it or anything, but I'm gonna guess it's a large to extra large just based on the measurements. And that's what the bag looks like. Again, really great. Just a really cool shirt, you know, wear it with jeans and a t-shirt underneath. This one is a vintage LL Bean, size large. And this is just a neutral striped turtleneck, and these are great for layering. Obviously, like I said before, these are great for layering underneath a dress if you want to get more time out of your short sleeve or tank top dresses for the fall and winter months. Next is a vintage Levi's button-up. This is a men's Levi's button-up. It is silver tab, and it is a size large. This is a big E tab. So if you ever find the big E on denim, pick it up because it's worth a lot of money. However, this top didn't seem to be worth too much when I checked out the listings, even though it is a big E. But I did grab it based on style. I actually didn't even notice that it was a big E. I like vintage Levi's stuff, and this one is no exception. It's just a oversized button-up with the big pockets, and it's in a really cool kind of like greeny blue teal color, and then the cream stripe. I figured somebody would totally want that, so that's why I grabbed it. Next is a vintage Alfred Dunner. This one I picked up based on style as well, size 12. It has shoulder pads. It's very 80s. I picked it up for the pattern. I thought this pattern was really cool. It's very like fun, and you know, figured you couldn't go wrong with something like that. Next, I have this really cute basket purse. It's like a little tiny like handbag, and I believe this is probably 60s, 70s. It has a pretty old looking clasp in here, and the hardware is all metal, including the zipper inside. It's made in Japan, and it's so cute. Like, it has all these little like rattan beads, and that's what the back looks like. It has a little feet on the bottom as well, which is usually more of a vintage thing. So, you know, I can't leave that kind of stuff when I go to my Goodwill bins. It's just too good to leave. Next is a vintage vest. This is definitely 70s. It's a size large, and it's just a red vest with, I think it has gold buttons down the front, and then the back just has a different contrasting red. Good staple for my closet. Good for a menswear piece too. I try to pick up men's vintage when I can. It's harder to find in good condition, but when I see it, I grab it. This is a vintage Union Main Lorex top. This one has all of that cool, like sparkly metallic thread going through it. That's what Lorex is, and it is, I think it's a size medium. It's definitely 70s. This gives me very, very disco vibes. It has the pointed disco collar, and then that's what the back looks like there. Just a really cool piece, dress up or dress down. And then last but not least, I have one more turtleneck. This one is a modern one. It's just cropped and borrow, but it is a 2X, and I grabbed it based on style. It has all kinds of little leaves all over it. Very, very good for fall. Very good for that cottagecore vibe once again. And I just, you know, I like to have that kind of cool basic for my closet on my Poshmark. So anyway, that was it for my haul, you guys. Thanks for sticking around if you made it to the end. This was sort of a long one. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.